A ringing alarm usually demands a fix, but for veterans with tinnitus, a 10% VA rating is often just a dismissive shrug. So today we're critiquing a video script teaching veterans how to use that baseline rating to claim secondary conditions. Let's dive directly into how the script structure might actually be overwhelming the exact audience it wants to help.
Yeah, the sequential listing of those 6 distinct secondary conditions risks completely diluting the core message.
Right, it's just too much all at once.
The weakness here is that presenting hearing loss, mental health, sleep, migraines, balance, and cognitive issues as this flat, numbered list makes the middle section feel incredibly overwhelming.
Oh, and repetitive.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, when you throw that much distinct medical info at them, working memory just taps out. Well, it's like handing the listener a flat list like that is basically giving them 6 loose keys instead of a master key ring.
That's a great way to put it.
So how does thematic clustering help the audience carry all this crucial information at once?
So the suggestion is to group these conditions into thematic clusters to create a much more digestible narrative framework.
Okay, so moving away from the 1 through 6 format entirely.
Right. Instead of numbering them, reorganize the script to introduce, say, physical disruptions first. Things like hearing loss and vertigo.
And then you follow up with the mental or neurological side?
Yeah, exactly. A cluster for neurological and psychological impacts, like migraines, insomnia, and anxiety.
That makes a lot of sense. It sort of explains the why instead of just listing the what.
Right, and it prevents them from dropping any of those loose keys you mentioned.
And keeping them from getting overwhelmed is crucial because pitch-wise, that transition to the paid service later on is pretty rough.
Oh, definitely. The abrupt transition from empathetic medical advice to a paid service pitch creates a really jarring tonal shift.
It almost alienates the audience, right? Especially an already skeptical veteran audience.
Yeah, because the weakness is that pitching the Nexus letter service right after detailing severe veteran trauma makes the whole thing suddenly feel like a transactional sales funnel.
Right, but I'll push back a little on the pacing of this critique here. Does a sudden commercial drop at the end really undermine that authentic rapport from the opening?
Well, it does if it drops out of nowhere.
Because they do have to pitch the Nexus letter eventually. I mean, precise documentation is a strict requirement for VA claims.
Sure. The issue isn't that they pitch a service, but how sudden it is. The suggestion is to weave the concept of specialized medical documentation organically throughout the whole narrative.
So rather than dropping it as a hard pivot at the end...
Exactly. You want to plant the seed early.
Like, as a concrete example, when they discuss the veteran, Dave, earlier in the script?
Yes. You could naturally introduce it right there by stating something like, this is where precise medical documentation becomes the bridge between suffering and compensation.
Oh, I like that. That plants the seeds so the final call to action feels like a natural, necessary resource.
Right. Instead of a bait and switch, it's a logical tool they've been learning about the entire time.
Yeah, integration really is the key. So to wrap up this critique, the material is highly persuasive, but just needs some key adjustments.
Right. It can be significantly strengthened by clustering those secondary conditions thematically for better retention.
And organically weaving that documentation service into the narrative to preserve audience trust.
Absolutely.
Please implement these adjustments and submit your revised work back to us for another round of feedback.